Hi guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays, and in this video, I'm coming back with another Before You Buy, this time for AI the Somnium Files, No Sleep for Kaname Date. Now, I already know what you guys are thinking. Mandy, this is not a JRPG, and to that I say you are correct. It is technically not a JRPG, but it's a JRPG adjacent game. So what I mean from that is it has a lot of qualities from a JRPG, but it doesn't have the gameplay combat. So the main reason why I'm doing a Before You Buy for this game is because I love the series, and for future Before You Buys, I would love to do RPG adjacent games as well. So if you're into that, then I urge you to watch this video, or even if you're not into that, I still urge you to watch this video because you might end up loving the series or trying it out. And one last thing before we jump into the video, please hit that like button if you end up liking the video, and consider subscribing if you're not yet subscribed. I'm trying to get to 10k by the end of the year, and I feel we could do it. Just need to hustle a bit. Now that all that's out of the way, let me first talk about the developers of AI the Somnium Files. If you guys don't know, AI the Somnium Files, No Sleep for Kaname Date. You know what, I'm just gonna say Kaname Date moving forward, or interchange them because that's a lot. But the series so far consists of 2 games, and with Kaname Date that makes 3. The first one is AI the Somnium Files, the second one is AI Nirvana Initiative, and the third one is the one we're talking about today. So the other 2 games were developed and framed by Kotaro Ushikoshi. But for Kaname Date, he is not the director for this game. Instead, he plays a more supervisor role for the game, kind of just guiding them along through the story. And someone new is handling both the direction of the game and the writing. His name is Kazuya Yamamata. Hopefully I said that right. Now, this person wasn't just picked out of the blue, and while not a lot is known about him, he was the sub-director for the AI Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative and a planner for the AI Somnium Files. So he's not a complete stranger to the game, which I'm glad, but I'm still getting kind of nervous about the story and whether it's going to be good, because these stories depend on really good writing. It is their meat and potatoes of the game, and Ushikoshi has proven to be a very good writer, especially in his other 2 works. But I'm hopefully optimistic, and I hope that this new game will be as good as the other 2. Alrighty, with that aside, let's get to the proverbial elephant in the room, and that is, do you need to play the other past games? Short answer is yes, but there's a bit of a caveat because you really need to know the events that happen in the first game, as the game literally takes place a few days after the events of the first game. This is what you call a prequel sequel. So the timeline of this game is sandwiched between the first game and the second game. So it's a prequel to the second game, but it's a sequel to the first game. So long story short, I recommend you play the first game. I feel like that's required, but you don't need to play the second game because the third game takes place literally after the first game. Now, I know a lot of people are like me and they played the first game and the second game. If that's the case, then you're more than ready to play the third game. I don't think it's gonna be a rehashing of what happened in the second game. It's probably gonna lead up to the events of the second game. And if you're curious and you want to play the first 2 games, the first game is $20 on every platform, while the second game, the Nirvana Initiative, is $40 on all platforms. So that comes in at the combined price of $60. And I feel like the games are definitely worth the buy. I have both of the games for my Switch, and I feel like that's the ideal way to play, mainly because you have it in portable mode, so it's nice to play it on handheld and close to you. But that's just my opinion. But now let's talk about its pricing and what consoles will this game be available for. Surprisingly, this is one of those cases where the digital version is cheaper than the physical version, which I honestly like. There's no reason why a digital game would be the same price as a physical game, and I know for confidence that if you sweeten the deal like that, you'll get more customers to go digital than physical. Not saying I want that to happen, but give us some incentive. The digital version of the game will be $40, and the physical version of the game will be $50. Personally, as a physical gaming girly, I'm going to get it physically. Anyways though, this game is releasing on the PC, the Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo Switch 2. Unfortunately, they're not releasing it for the PlayStation 5, which is honestly weird, though I think they might port it down the line, and not having an Xbox port is kind of expected at this point. The Xbox is not getting any love. Now the sad elephant in the room, and that is the Nintendo Switch 2 is indeed a key card. I mean, we kind of knew this early on, but it still sucks. Like seriously, if you want to hear more about my thoughts about key cards, then watch my key card video, especially if you don't exactly know what a key card does, because a lot of people don't know what a key card is. So buyers beware if you're looking for a physical game. The Switch 2 version is not completely physical. struggle. If you don't care about all that mumbo jumbo, then get the Switch 2 version. Now on to the specs. Since there's no PS5 version or Xbox version, it won't be that long, but we do have to discuss the Switch 2 version versus the Switch 1. Sadly though, Chunsoft has not published a spec sheet on how the game runs on the PC or the Nintendo Switches. This kind of sucks because I want concrete numbers and I hate when I have to just guesstimate it. Luckily, many websites got the game early so I can reference that for the time being, and I'm using the RPG site as my source. So check out their coverage of the game in the description down below. So essentially, the Switch 1 version looks like it's going to be docked at 720p and handheld mode, which is similar to the past games honestly. Similar for the frame rate, which isn't perfect, but it is uncapped with a 60 FPS target. But to be quite honest, it's probably going to run like the previous two games. Now for the Switch 2 version, it has also an uncapped 60 FPS, which is kind of weird. You're going to want that 60 FPS capped because you don't want it bouncing around all over the place. So it's weird that they went with this direction. But it does take a step up when it comes to the visual fidelity of the game, which can be seen in some of the footage and trailers. And this version includes two different settings, and that is, funny enough, performance mode and graphics mode. Why I say it's kind of funny is because this game is a visual novel with puzzle mechanics. You wouldn't think a performance mode would be a thing, but this option is only available when the Switch 2 is docked. When it's undocked, it locks at performance mode. And the final difference between the Switch 1 and Switch 2 is that the game has mouse controls. Now the other question you guys might be wondering, can you play the Switch 1 version and then upgrade it to the Switch 2? Unfortunately not, but it does have a little bit of backwards compatibility boost when you play a Switch 1 version on the Switch 2. So it's essentially pick what you want to pick. For the Steam Deck, it hasn't been verified yet. Alrighty, let's get on to what the game is actually about. As I mentioned before in the beginning of the video, canonically, this game takes place a day after the events of the first game. So what happens is that Iris, who is an idol and streamer, once again gets in trouble because she was abducted by a UFO, and then she is forced to participate in this escape game called The Third Eye, which involves a lot of puzzles, kind of like Zero Escape. And its relation to Zero Escape was no accident, because the developer even said it themselves in countless interviews that Zero Escape elements are baked into the game. And another thing that changed is that it seems from all the gameplay that was shown that the characters lean heavily into different archetypes, sometimes to the point of exaggeration. For example, one of the main quality traits of our protagonist Kaname Date is that he is a horn dog. So in this game, he's probably going to be a bigger horn dog. I don't know how to feel about that.
Her hips! Are you seeing this? I'm about to cry tears of joy.
Hey, girl with the big tits.
Excuse me?
Shit, I said it to her face.
Whatever.
No, Meg!
Hopefully the writing doesn't make it out to be really annoying, but back to the game. You once again control Dante, as he is the main character in the first game and a really important character in the second game. And of course, Alba will be joining in too, which is awesome because Alba is such a good character and she's usually the one to wrangle Dante in when he's getting, you know, a bit crazy. Aiba is an AI eyeball that is in Dante's socket, and she's the companion throughout the first game and now the third game. Kaname Date, along with Aiba, go out to look for Iris because, you know, she was abducted by a UFO or something. Now, Iris is a character I honestly really love, especially in the first game, and while she doesn't play a big role in the second game, it's nice to have another game that features her heavily because I just really loved her character. As for Kaname Date, along the way he encounters a device that resembles a coffin that has a note attached to it that says "Psych me." I will touch on the psyching in the gameplay area, but it's essentially a mode where Dante goes into. But not only do we get Iris and Dante, we also get a lot of the fan favorite characters from the first game, like Boss and Mizuki. Now there's a new character introduced and she's actually on the box art, and she's in charge of the psyching stuff. Another character is Akami, who is the host of the Third Eye game, but other than that, it's a typical AI Somnium File fanfare story, and I don't think it's going to be as lore heavy as the first game or the second game because, you know, it's smack dab in the middle. I'm very interested to see how this this game goes. And also very excited because I love the AI Somnium File games. They're one of my favorites. Now moving on to the next portion, which is the gameplay. And as I stated before in the beginning, this game doesn't have combat, but it does have a lot of puzzle mechanics, making it for a more interactive visual novel, which I love. That's how I love my visual novels. So the game is split into 3 gameplay portions. Those 3 are the investigation, the somnium, and the escape. The escape one is a new gameplay mechanic for this game. First, the investigation portion. You control Dante and you have to find clues to Aiba's whereabouts in different locations. Editing Mandy here, I meant to say Iris, not Aiba. You also have to talk to any person that might be related to the mystery at hand. And plus, he has help from Aiba. She can assist Dante by using her special features like X-ray mode to find anything that's hidden. She could also detect heat signatures within a person or any living object, which might reveal hidden clues not perceived by the human eye. So Dante in his investigation mode is handled kind of like how they handled the first 2 games. Next is the Somnium portions. To go into the Somnium portions, you have to psych in. So psyching is basically entering a person's dream world to discover a hidden truth. Now the way you go about it is a bit unique. So in this dream world, you take control of Aiba, but she's not an eyeball. In these dream worlds, she takes on a humanoid form. There are some limitations to this psyching. Mainly, and the biggest one is, you have a total of 6 minutes to do your stuff and get out. But don't worry about the time mechanic. They give you more than enough time. And throughout the Somnium, there are various puzzles and obstacles to unlock, but when you interact with certain items or puzzles, they will have different options that would take a variety of time. So let's say Aiba needs to touch something, that will take 10 seconds. Or if Aiba needs to climb a tree, that will take 30 to 40 seconds. And also it autosaves in specific locations, so if you have to start again, you don't have to start from the beginning. And lastly, there is the escape portion, which is new to the game. I'm not really 100% sure how this escape portion works because I haven't played the game, but if I was to bet, it plays a lot like the Zero Escape series, which includes obtaining keys, putting passwords, and other specifics like that. I personally didn't find the first game or second game as challenging, though there were portions where, you know, I was kind of, huh? But overall, these games are not really that hard. And there's also going to be difficulty options in the new game. So that is it for my before you buy for AI the Somnium File, No Sleep for Kaname Date. I hope you guys get this game, and I'm gonna get it day 1 for sure. It's looking to be another fun time in the AI Somnium universe, and I'm really excited. Tell me what you guys think about the game. Are you getting it? Are you not? Is this your first time hearing about it? I would love to know. Please hit that like button if you liked the video. I would appreciate it. It helps a lot. And subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. I'm trying to reach 10k by the end of the year, and I hope we can do it. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace.